Welcome back to Marriage Isn't Dead. I'm Scotty G. I'm a relationship coach with over 20 years of experience in marriage, dating, and business. My mission with this channel is to help others achieve success in love and life. And today we're going to talk about love and sex. When you coach men in relationships, the conversation inevitably leads to sex. It just happens. It's a sore spot for a lot of guys, especially in troubled relationships. But it goes both ways, though. In about a third of the relationships out there, uh, the woman actually has a higher libido than the male. So if you're one of those ladies that thinks you're alone in that regard, think again. If you look at some of these relationship groups out there, like mine, you can see that men and women post the same type of material. You just switch the pronouns around. It's actually pretty uncanny, pretty interesting. There's multiple reasons why people end up in a dull or a dead bedroom. There's a thousand different things, but I would say one of the most common things is when people develop a routine. It's a natural thing. It's not always a bad thing, but couples can have efficient sex, especially long term, where they know what turns their partner on. They know exactly how to orgasm quickly, and they're very efficient. But the problem with that, you can lose the mystique very easily and you can lose the fun of sex. Sex in a marriage or a long term relationship is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be adventurous. It's okay to have focused sex and efficient sex, but it leads to routine. Routine leads to dull. So some people like focused and efficient sex, but it leads to routine. I call this maintenance sex, and it should be part of your resume for your relationship. Maintenance sex is your quickies, your quicker midweek session. When you're tired, you 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 want to connect with your partner, but you don't have a whole lot of time. Your energy level's down, and a routine at that point is efficient, and it's not a bad thing. So that's your midweek session. That's a little bit quicker. But if you continue doing that over time and do it over and over that way, leads routine, leads to dull. So how do you avoid this pitfall or get out of it if you're in a dull bedroom? That's what this episode's about. A long time ago, I used to see graphs with in psychology with progressively bigger circles that illustrate psychological preferences and patterns. I wanted to take that concept and expand on it in a sexual sense. And what I came up with was what I call the comfort circles. So the sexual comfort circles, this method doesn't really work for everyone, but it works really well for couples who have a boring sex life and want to improve. Totally dead bedrooms are a different animal. Your dead bed could be caused by a dull routine. So if that describes you, this episode is for you. Totally dead bedrooms are a different animal. My material will address dead bedrooms. I've talked about it before in the past, and I'll obviously talk about it for the future. But this episode is about dull routines. So the sexual comfort circles, there's three circles with an increasingly larger area representing three different categories of preference. The center circle is called the comfort circle. The second circle surrounding the comfort circle is called the growth. That's the middle ring. And the very outer edges is what I call the stress circle. So your comfort circle represents your usual routine. What I just talked about, your efficient sex, your normal. Your growth represents the area where both partners are willing to try something new. And then the stress represents an off limits boundary for one partner. Could be both partners, but specifically one partner, there's an off limits boundary. That's your stress circle. That's your outside region. So, how do we use this diagram? When it comes to long term monogamy, exploring your growth circle when it comes to physical intimacy and sex is where the fun is. That's where the adventure is in your bedroom. And How do you do that? How do you explore the growth circle? Number one, first thing you need to do is recognize your patterns. What's your routine? Everybody has a pattern, whether they admit it or not. How you initiate foreplay, it's almost like a 1, 2, 3, 4 of your of your script. Those are the patterns that make up your comfort circle. First thing you need to do is recognize those patterns and build on it. It's not always a bad thing. It's okay. It's a natural thing. Like I said, if you start to get efficient, you know what people like, you're going to stick to something that works, right? Well, over time it can be dull. So ask yourself, what's something you want to try that's out of your routine? What's what's something that you want to try? Think of that in your head. Start small. We don't want to go from 0 to 150 with your hair on fire. That's obviously going to freak out your partner, male or woman, okay, or man or woman. If you are a man and you want to try something new, or if you're a woman and you want to try something new, start small, build on it over time. That's the beauty of long-term monogamy. That's the beauty of this stuff. You can't utilize this experience on a one-night stand. Long-term monogamy and long-term marriage, that's what's fun. So the next time you initiate sex, just do it. Just do it. Don't ask questions in the moment. It has a tendency to put a wet blanket over the session. So if there's something in mind that you want to do, just do it. So when you try something new, if it doesn't go well, don't apologize for that. Never apologize for something you want to do in your bedroom. It's an open place to express yourself, to please your partner, to please yourself. Don't apologize for that. That's a natural thing. A lot of people have a tough time talking about sex or even watching this material. It's going to make you uncomfortable, right? Well, if you're that kind of person, it's a natural instinct to have a physical connection with your lover. So if it doesn't go well, don't apologize and move on to something that you are comfortable with. Go back to the comfort circle, okay? What you want to do is you want to live at the boundary of the comfort circle and the growth circle. That's where you want to live as a couple. So what happens is over time, that comfort circle will actually grow. The more you do something, the more you do something new, the more comfortable it gets, and the more a part of your normal routine it becomes. So the comfort circle actually gets bigger over time, and the growth circle will collapse. It will actually condense. Now there's one exception to this rule where you don't ask. Backdoor play. All right, backdoor play. That should be something that you need to talk about beforehand. That's not something that you want to surprise your partner with, male or woman, or man or woman. Backdoor play, if you want to go down that road, that's something that you should talk about beforehand, not in the moment. So if something doesn't go well after the fact, don't make a big deal of it, of a bad outcome, but you should talk about it when things have calmed down. So not in the moment, and talk about what went wrong, and when things have calmed down. So if things went great, use that momentum and build on it next time. Don't go from 0 to 60 immediately. Start small and build on it. Make the comfort circle bigger. The boundary between the growth and the comfort circle, it expands. The more you hit that boundary, the more it expands. So when should you do these kind of things? On average, try to explore something new every fourth session or so to break out of your routines. So an example or examples is hands only, oral only, clothes on, out of bed, out of the covers, lights on, lights off. Those are the kind of things that you can play with. It's all simple stuff, right? Well, that makes a session different. Different is good. Different is good. That's how you get out of a dull bedroom. If you're liking this content, leave a comment, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell. I upload weekly. So now let's talk about the stress circle. This is a hard stop if you go too far. No means no, fellas. No means no. Best case scenario is reading nonverbal cues from her or him before there's a verbal response of stop, no more, that's it. You need to recognize the body signals that your partner's giving you before they say something. Anything where you're talking in bed and asking questions, it's going to be a distraction and it's going to be a mood killer 100%. So read the body signals and listen to them. Okay, listen to them. No means no. So if you go too far, immediately stop, transition to something that you know is in your comfort zone, normal routine. It's okay to go back to something that's normal for you in that moment. The biggest thing in a situation like this is don't apologize. Don't say I'm sorry. Don't apologize for doing something in the bedroom that you want to do with somebody that you love. There's no reason to be shameful about that. It's it's a beautiful thing to share a physical connection with the person that you love. It's it's a beautiful thing. Don't be ashamed of it. Now, if you're the person that didn't like what happened, don't shame your partner. Okay? Just move on in the moment. You can always revisit it later at a different time, but don't shame your partner. Shaming your partner in bed can have devastating effects on your physical connection long term, and that goes for both individuals, man or woman. Don't shame your partner for expressing themselves physically. So, the area that you want to live in is the boundary of the growth and comfort for a hot bedroom long term, period. That's where you want to live and visit the growth circle often. Often. So, in closing, branch out of the routines and keep things fresh. Men, keep her guessing. Keep it interesting. If you are following routines, get out of them. The first the first step is recognizing that you have a routine and it's a little dull and accept it. A good rule of thumb is try something new every fourth session. Try to keep her guessing. The growth circle is your friend. Visit it often. Okay. Slow your roll. Trust is earned. And stay open minded when it comes to your bedroom, both partners. You've got plenty of time to explore yourselves and build a sizable sexual resume. There's no need to rush it. Okay. There's no need to rush it. That's the beauty of marriage. That's the beauty of long term relationships. You can really get to know somebody and get to know yourself and build on it and be adventurous. You can't really get that kind of stuff in a one night stand or a casual relationship. It's just different when it comes to a marriage and a long term relationship, in my opinion. Some people disagree with me, but that's the beauty of marriage for me personally. And if you don't have that and you want that, you can have it. It does take a little bit of work, but this works. Take the stress circle seriously. Sexual trust is earned over time and it can disappear very quickly if you have a tendency to go too far, especially you fellas. If you go too far too often, your sexual trust will suffer and she's going to shut down and your comfort circle is going to shrink to the size of a penny. So take it easy. Sexual trust is earned. If you hit a boundary, no means no. So join the Marriage Isn't Dead private Facebook group where I interact with my subscribers and people all over the world. If you're into relationships, improving your bedroom, and bettering yourself, you're welcome. Come on in. Let's get started. Let's get better together. So until next time, be better than you were yesterday and be desirable.